Commissioner Colwell,
Here.
Commissioner Dunlap. I know you're there, Commissioner. Shoot.
I think his audio just connected, Dan. So
I thought I just heard him. Hold on.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Commissioner Walde,
Yes.
Commissioner Medina Hernandez.
Yes, here.
Sorry, I gotta write this down. Commissioner Pettix.
Present.
2, 4, 6. And Mr. Giorgiani called me and he will not be able to be with us. He's in a, well, without violating HIPAA, but he is in the urgent care. Okay. We wish him well. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Consideration of prior minutes. I'm going to go back to the first minutes of October 25th, 2023. I'm just going to go over this. I'll need a motion in a second. This is who can vote on it. Medina Hernandez, Wright, Giorgiani, Colwell, and Pettix. So I've got 4 out of 5 here. So
Yeah,
let's,
but Dan, just in the future, because I'm on a lot of boards, all of us can vote if we believe that the minutes are accurate. We don't have to have been in attendance.
okay.
That's Robert's rules.
Yeah, that is accurate.
All right. I'll let Manfredi and Camacho fight it out tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much. Mr. President, thank you. Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
we're going to motion?
Motion.
Second, Colwell,
Second.
Colwell, second. Roll call, Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Colwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunlap. I hear you. Commissioner Walde. Commissioner Walde,
Let me.
I hear you.
Yes.
Commissioner Medina Hernandez,
Yes,
Commissioner Pettix.
Yes.
Great. Second set of meeting minutes, November 23rd, 2023. I'll need a motion in a second, Chair.
So moved.
Motion.
Motion by Chair. Colwell, second. Roll call. Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Colwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunlap, Commissioner Walde.
Thank you.
I hear you, I hear you, Wallace. Commissioner Wallace. Commissioner Walde,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Medina Hernandez,
yes.
Commissioner Pettix,
Yes.
Giorgiani absent. Okay, moving on.
I'm gonna need to mute that one.
Yes,
phone.
someone needs to mute because you're hearing background.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. I
Thank
wish
you.
At this time, public comment.
All right.
Anyone from the public like to say anything? No? All right, forever hold your peace.
Yeah, hi, Charlie Cradaville. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Cradaville.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a good holiday and appreciate the opportunity to address you before you get to the agenda. I do know at the last meeting there was a resolution that was added to the agenda, in the middle of the meeting. And, I think in situations like that, it would make sense for the board to open it up again to the public because I, wasn't able to really get clarity on what was passed during the meeting. I've since followed up with the executive director, and I'll continue to dialogue with him about it. But I was curious which contracts it is that are being extended, if anybody can say that right now.
Yes, I can answer that if you want me to, Chair.
Absolutely.
We only extended this, to be perfectly clear, again, for time purposes. We are not asking for more money for these contractors. There is no more money that's needed. There's plenty of money left over. The following, general accounting services, management consulting, redevelopment legal services, A&E services, unit maintenance and modernization services, electrical and plumbing. Additionally, I thought I made myself pretty clear, Mr. Cradaville, to the board in this respect, and I want to be forceful on this, that we were strictly doing that because we wanted to go back and review the procurement policy here at the authority. And we wanted to be fair and equitable all the way across. So I'm going to echo that again. Any other questions?
Yes, sir, and thank you for the response. I just also wanted an update on the executive director search. Can somebody tell me if when we might expect to learn who the new person's going to be?
I'd say you'd be learning pretty soon. I'd say top of the year.
Okay. Any update on the nonprofit? Starting the board of I guess the trust fund.
Chair?
Absolutely.
Okay. Mr. Camacho has an update on that because I understand that he's been in talks with the city and the city attorney. So I will segue over to you, Mr. Camacho.
Yeah, we've had discussions on finalizing the documentation, Charlie, and we've discussed, as we've discussed before, there were some questions as far as the formation of the entity. So we're making sure that everything is done properly. And we are in the process of doing that, and that should be finalized very shortly, and also for the early part of next year, and I'd say in January, look to have a initial meeting of that board.
Okay. Thanks for the updates. I also have to address an issue I've brought up here a couple times, and I guess if I do also have a closing I'd like to say. So if I'm running low on time, if you could let me know. I do want to ask about Daniel McBride. This is a person who was hired by the authority January 9th as a probationary hire, and then a few months later was elevated to the position of part-time compliance coordinator. And this was, as my understanding, all from California. The person appears to be a California resident and was not working on site. There was a phone number for the person advertised on the authority website that was out of state. And I also noticed that the job description for that position says that the person must have at least 3 years experience working in property management or managing low-income clients, working in real estate or case management, or experience working within the affordable housing business. And, based on this person's resume, it does not appear they have that experience. I encourage, anybody who has knowledge to the contrary to bring it up, but this person has experience in education and web development, engineering, but not the things that were required. And I am concerned because I believe this person is a family member of the director of administration at the housing authority. And I wanted to ask if there's, what the status of this situation is, because I know the person did resign, and I know that I've, asked if there's going to be an investigation, but I haven't really, heard much about it. I did file an Oprah request, and I thank the authority for providing a response, but I need to know what happened here and how a person that didn't have the required credentials, doesn't even live in New Jersey, is a family member of a person in the administration, would make their way into this position, which was a $67,000 a year position, which I imagine might be more than some of the people who've worked there for years. So I'd like some more information about how Mr. McBride was hired. I recognize this was before Mr. Toto was the acting executive director, but what was going on here? What happened?
Chair?
Speak to it.
I'm sorry, Chair.
Feel free to speak to it should you want to.
Well, the only thing I'd like to say,
Is a
Dan,
personnel
is
issue.
that this is a personnel matter, as you brought up, Charlie. It is something which really should not be discussed at a public
No.
meeting. We did respond to the Oprah request, as you indicated. If you have further documentation that you'd request from the housing authority, feel free to issue that accordingly, and we'll respond accordingly.
Right. Well, I guess I was really hoping to bring it to the board's attention and was, interested in further investigation taking place, but I also, recognize that folks don't want to talk about it in this setting. I'll just say I'm happy to share what I've learned and willing to work with the authority. And to that end, I did want to close by just, giving a single constructive suggestion and, the best wishes for a healthy new year where we can all work together better. I see a lot of potential to improve the agency's operations, including transparency. Fortunately, I've seen some good changes happening recently, and I want to encourage that. And I just wanted to suggest that the meetings could be better if they were if there were an option for folks to attend in person. To be clear, I benefit from having them on Zoom, and I can call in from my desk here, and we can broadcast them live on New Brunswick Today. And I don't think that should stop, but I do, can't help but recognize that as I make the rounds to other housing authorities and I see some that have in-person meetings and some that have hybrid meetings, it's obvious that the hybrid is the best of both worlds and the way to go. I do notice that the authorities that still have their meetings on Zoom only tend to have a lot less public input, especially from the residents of the public housing. And I know that when we used to have the meetings in person, we would at least, fairly frequently have some residents, avail themselves of the opportunity to come to the meeting and speak directly to the board. And, there's obviously other ways to engage with the residents, but, these meetings are really important. And I do think that the board would benefit from hearing from more people than just me every meeting. And it might be nice to offer an in-person option for not only the public, but also the board, so that board members that prefer to be on site and in person can do so, but also still be able to participate remotely. And so I would just suggest that before you adopt the resolution on your meeting schedule, that you just make a slight change to it and just say that you would also have the option to attend in person at the community room at 7 Van Dyke Avenue. And I think that would probably be a good change, and it's probably time to make that change, if not overdue to make that change. So I appreciate all of you listening to me and answering the questions, and yeah, I truly do wish you all the best in the new year, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Cradaville. Anyone else from the public would like to say anything? Any board member like to say anything? We're going to come back to you later, so you may want to hold on to your thoughts. Chair,
Nothing.
public comment needs a motion and a second to close. Motion,
Motion to close public comment.
Chair. Dale, second. Commissioner Colwell.
Second.
Yesenia, sorry. Motion. My little chart is now messed up, Yesenia. Okay, roll call. Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Colwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunlap.
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Commissioner Walde,
Yes.
Commissioner Medina Hernandez,
Yes.
and Commissioner Pettix.
Yes.
Let the record reflect Mr. Giorgiani's absent. Motion passes. At this time, report of secretary and committee report. I'd like to report again, as I did last time verbally, that I was so impressed, and yet Mr. Cradaville failed, and you can't come back and talk now, Charlie, because your time is up. To recognize that my 3 stellar commissioners came to save our agency because we were shorthanded that day, and they got an earful, good and bad, from residents. And I would always extend, as I have in the past, that anyone, a reporter, someone from the community, someone lives here, wants to walk with me, knock on people's doors, I love it. You want to hand out food, you want to be productive, that's fine. I'm not sitting here to get residents all riled up and bring them to a meeting to fire off at us. But I think my commissioners did an outstanding job at Thanksgiving. Outstanding. And for that, I applaud you guys. We got so much information, I could keep writing about it. And a lot of the times, we're able to get out there and handle the situations that they so desperately need from us to be handled. Sometimes they fall through the cracks, but that's why the commissioners get out there and you guys did what you did that day. But I really appreciate that. But anytime. So we want to be as open as possible. All right. So that report's done, but it's not actually done. I wanted to mention that Chief Rawls did an outstanding job with the fire department. Commissioner Medina Hernandez told me the police department also came out and handed out gifts to so many of our children in the on both sides, from Robeson Village side and no, we didn't go to Hope Manor. Maybe the cops went down there.
Schwartz and Robeson, yeah.
Schwartz and Robeson, I'm sorry, Right Place side. Outstanding performance by them as always, and they delivered for us on Thanksgiving, and I failed to mention that. So I just want to bring that to their attention. There's another report. The chair and I are working really hard. We want to see top-notch security system here in terms of the best video surveillance equipment we can get. You know, we're at it again tomorrow. We're looking really hard. We're going to be putting out an RFP. But just because people are on the lower income status and that live here, they deserve the same protections as anyone else in the suburban community. And Commissioner Colwell and I talk about that all the time. Once you provide safety for people, learning goes up, the desire to go out and do and get multiple jobs to get up and out. You know, this is more of a community that I start seeing here every day. And I beg you commissioners to come out here with me and walk around and talk to the residents and help them. So I'll leave you guys at that. I wish you guys well. Sorry, belated Christmas, but happy New Year. All right. So
Right.
for this evening, that part is closed. We're going to move to there's no unfinished business. We approved the minutes of past. We're going to move to the new business and the resolution. So let me know when you're ready, Chair, and
I'm ready. Let's do new business.
All right. Resolution 2023 number 24, resolution approving, authorizing, and ratifying payment of bills for November 2023. I'll need a motion in a second or any questions.
So moved.
Commissioner Colwell moves.
Second.
Second, Mr. Walde. Commissioner Walde. Okay, roll call. Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Colwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunlap,
Yes.
Commissioner Walde,
Yes.
Commissioner Medina Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettix,
Yes.
Mr. Giorgiani's absent. Resolution 2023-45, resolution approving commissioner travel to and education at the 2024 FADA Commissioners Conference. I need a-
Motion.
Okay.
Second.
And Medina Hernandez. Roll call, Commissioner Wright.
I have a question.
Up.
Okay. Mr. Walde.
Just a general question. For the last few years, we've been saying that we didn't have any budget for this type of trips.
Yeah,
I mean, training trips and all that. What happened?
I guess I got involved and I found some money.
Oh, okay.
Is that all right? And didn't you just go on a trip, Commissioner Walde? I just wondered.
No. I haven't been on a trip on my own money.
Yeah, I know. You went to London though. That counts.
Yeah. No. This was serious, because I remember because of budget cuts and things like
Yeah.
that, we had
We're
stopped.
okay. We've
Yeah,
been saving
okay,
money
okay.
and we haven't been replacing some positions, but I'll make sure I have you on the list for the next trip, and I'm sure you'll be happy to go because you always come back with good information.
Yeah, but that was not the that was not the issue. I mean, I didn't ask for that. I'm just reminding people that we haven't sent anybody for a long time. It's good that we're sending
right?
people now. I just want to make sure we have the budget.
Yep. And I'm
And it's
sending,
good to know that if it's in the budget, because it's important to see with other areas and with the trainings, and if you can keep us informed
Mm.
of any of the trainings or anything that comes up, either be it local, if it's local as well,
Yep.
too, everything.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
okay, great. Thank you.
On that note right there, Mr. Walde and Mrs.
Mr. Dunlap, do
Yes.
you want to go on a trip too?
I was looking at that. I read up on that, and I was interested in it said directors. Is it just for directors such as yourself, or just for commissioners?
No, I'm not going on the trip. Well, commissioner's going.
Okay, it is.
We
open
call
to
this training or a conference. We keep saying a trip, so it makes it seem like more of a vacation. So
yeah, this is-
The material I have regarding the 3-day training session is serious. I mean, he's Commissioner Wright's going to come back with a lot of information. And FADA is a phenomenal organization. Yep. This is not sunbathing and swimming and relaxing. So this is definitely a hardworking trip. I wish I could go. I cannot. And I'm sending a commissioner from Franklin Housing Authority as well. And I'm really excited about that. A lot of good things going on over there as well as here.
So then you have a head count of this?
One.
I'm looking interested in going to this.
Can't hear him.
Commissioner Dunlap, only one person's going.
For Franklin Township,
Franklin Township, one person, yes.
not from New Brunswick.
One from New Brunswick also.
Two persons, okay.
Yep.
That's the number. That's the limit, correct?
I wouldn't say that. That's a number I felt comfortable with within my budget right now. Within our budget, sorry.
That's why I like to go, because I'm interested in sharpening up my knowledge and understanding of what I'm involved in and what the community is about and with the housing, all that.
I believe we have an upcoming proposition for all commissioners where we're going to be bringing some folks out from HUD as well. Isn't that right, Mr. Toto?
Yes.
So
I'll have more information for our next meeting.
Yeah, we'll have more information on that. And I would just, if we have this level of enthusiasm about this education, I'd be absolutely ecstatic to see everybody
Put me on the
participate.
list on top of this for that.
And it's long overdue, Commissioner Dunlap. It really is. And the chair and I have been talking about this as a whole. So you'll be seeing some new and exciting things, hopefully this spring.
Thank you.
Okay.
That'll be
Okay.
it.
So I have a motion and a second. We'll take roll call. Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Colwell,
yes.
Commissioner Dunlap,
Yes,
Commissioner Walde,
Yes.
Commissioner Medina Hernandez,
yes,
Commissioner Petix.
Yes,
Let the record reflect motion passes, Mr. Giorgiani absent. Next resolution, 2023, number 46, resolution approving regular board meeting dates for 2024. I'm gonna wait to call out a motion in a second because I know Commissioner Petix had called me on this earlier, and I think he came up with a very reasonable question. So I'd like you to share this. Go ahead.
sure. Through the chair, I'd like to ask, it's selfish. I have another commitment at 7:30 on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
So most of the time I could make the meeting, but it probably would be by phone. And I think there is a difference with at least seeing everybody and being able to kind of participate through Zoom versus over the phone, if possible. So I don't know if we've etched in stone this meeting time and the date as being on Wednesday at 6:45, or if that was based on other people's schedules, based upon other people's work schedules, maybe. But I just wanted to see if there was a chance of possibly, at a minimum, meeting earlier.
Is that something we'd have to examine against information we've gotten for other schedules, Mr. Toto?
Well, great question. Obviously, I want to accommodate Commissioner Petix. Very important. You guys are volunteers. Hard to get good people, so you want to try to accommodate as best as you can.
If we kept it on the same.
We're going to have to talk about this.
Yeah.
But right now, I sent out the agenda already because it was required of me to, and the dates are so close. But we can revisit it, absolutely. And I want to revisit doing a hybrid, or at least opening up the community room after the winter and bringing in residents. I think there's a lot of benefit there. And we want the residents to come in here. We want them to tell us what they're excited about and so on.
I don't want them to wait till board meetings. I want them to call you and come.
They
to
do.
me and
They do,
all
but I
those
think,
things as
listen,
well.
you know, I don't mean to cut you off, Commissioner, sorry, but there's a pressing need here. People want to see new development. They want to see new housing for them. They want to express that.
Yeah.
I think if they remain silent and just call us to tell us, they feel it falls on deaf ears. It's more that we're giving them an avenue to come in, you know, to come in and see your
100% for
faces. And, but you know, the ones that complain because their little tiles cracked, or they complain because their sink has caved in, that's a different story, right? We need to address that as well, or at least address it in a thoughtful way, because some people really do keep their units spectacular. So Mr. Pettix, we're going to get back to you.
Just
Very nice.
adding to Doug's question. I know Doug and I don't know how many people are retired, but there are a lot of people who are working. So it's better to do it later so that we can accommodate the other board members.
Fair. There may be some room to maintain the same day and bump it up just so it's not back to back with the commitment that you have, and we'll examine that.
Great.
And we'll do it.
Especially if we have presentations and redevelopment matters coming before us, you're going to want to be able to set off an hour and a half to 2 hours. Just to,
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's to be fair to them as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
So let me get this understanding. So we're looking at changing the time of the meetings?
Potentially, and that's going to be something that has to be coordinated amongst all commissioners, board
We
members.
do, yes, we do have to discuss that because, and then also we're looking at then doing it hybrid, that if some of the commissioners are able to be at the community room with some of the individuals, doing it that way as well. Because
Correct.
I would hope eventually that we do become in person again, eventually, but I understand if we do hybrid and everything, so.
I do like the hybrid more than trying to bring everyone over. You guys are volunteers. You guys are really busy. You've got other lives. You've got other commitments. You've got other boards you serve on. And I think you're still getting to the crux of the issues that we need you to get to. I would like to open up for any commissioner who would want to come here, but more so for the residents that are here.
No, that's why I'm saying for any of us as commissioners, if we have the ability to come there, then we
Right.
attend, we come there in
Sure,
person.
sure. You come here any day anyway. But regardless, I really would do that more for the tenants than the commissioners. Now, if it would help the commissioner, that's great. Is that fair? The time is an issue, so we'll have to address that, but everyone will have a say with that. Okay?
So, okay, are we looking at table? Okay,
No,
That's
no, no.
That's not being
right.
decided right now at all.
Right. Right. We're okay right now. We're going to stay at the 6:45 mark.
okay.
And you've seen the calendar, right?
I saw the calendar, yes.
Great. Okay. We're going to move on to, no, did we
Yeah,
do?
just a minute.
So
Yeah,
Dan, wait,
yeah,
just for the record then, are you going to table this resolution? and then
No.
we'll-
That's what,
No.
Okay,
We're
But-
going to vote this through. I have to. We have to meet next. We have to meet again in this is for the year. We can always come back to this if
Got
we need to adjust the time. I am not messing with the dates or the codes or.
This gives us January.
okay, so let's get a motion and let's get this voted on and then we move forward. And then if we have to make the adjustments, then we do that at the next meeting, whatever.
Sounds great, Commissioner.
Let's do
That's
that.
great. Okay, I'll need a motion in a second. Commissioner Medina Hernandez, motion?
Yes,
Second.
Second, Mr. Caldwell? Dr.
Yeah.
Caldwell, okay. Roll call. Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunlap,
Yes.
Commissioner Walde,
Yes.
Commissioner Medina Hernandez,
yes,
Commissioner Pettix,
Yes.
and Mr. Giorgiani's absent, and Mr. Pettix. Okay, done. It was here. Last resolution, resolution 2023, number 47. Resolution approving and ratifying change orders to extend contract by 60 days. Any questions? Not, I'll need a motion in a second.
Pausing for questions.
I have a question.
Okay, Mr.
Usually when we have a contract, we have a deadline, right?
Mhm.
Now, how does this work with the deadline? Is that because they don't fulfill their deadline that we're extending it, or why is that?
Good question. So when I came on board as the interim, there were some contracts that were existing. There were some contracts that needed to be extended for financial purposes because the money was being used up. This is not one of those. I was asked to look into the procurement of contracts in the fair and equitable solicitation of them, and which I did. And I got together with Joe and a couple other people, and we looked at things that we liked and we didn't like. So we needed to be comfortable with that. At the same time, the contract, as you said, deadline was coming up for probably a good 6 of them.
Mhm.
maybe 7. And we felt at the time at the last meeting, let's just make a motion to extend the service contract of it. A lot of the monies were still available, so we were not asking for more money. We were just extending the time of service, which happens a lot. You know, you can do that. It's understandable. So I wanted to be clear with the earlier individual in the public comment part that we were simply extending it for service. The money's already there. If we use it or we don't use it, it's there. We're not coming back to the board to ask them to fully fund these or even fund them a little bit. So at this time, we're ready to put them out for contract, and there's procurement laws that you have to adhere to, and that's where we are now. So contracts will be going out. They're allowed to bid on them. We'll review the bids. I'll present them back to the board, and we'll move accordingly.
Now, there won't be any material cost increase or anything like that when we do this.
No, sir.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
This is
I don't
just
want them to
time.
come back and say, well, because of the delay, material cost has
That's not
gone
occurring.
up and we want additional.
Yeah.
Yeah, Commissioner, there's no, this is not a construction contract that you're
Okay,
talking
it's
about.
service contract, yeah.
Correct.
Any other questions? Okay. Chair, with no further ado, I'll need a motion in a second.
Motion.
I move.
Mr. Wolde, second. Okay. Roll call. Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Colwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunlap.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Wolde,
Yes.
Commissioner Medina Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettix.
Yes.
Motion passes, Chair. We are now down to the final stages. Adjournment. I need a motion in a second unless somebody wants to say anything.
Pausing.
Happy New Year to all.
Happy New Year to all. And I want to tell Commissioner Dunlap, if you can hear me, I'll be signing your grandson real soon because he's got a good set of hands on him.
Thank you.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right.
Happy
motion-
holidays. Wait, we need a motion in a second.
Motion to adjourn.
All right.
Second.
Man. Okay, roll call. Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Colwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunlap,
Yes.
Commissioner Walde,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Medina Hernandez,
Yes.
and Commissioner Pettix.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. We'll be in touch soon.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Happy
Thank you.
Happy
Happy New
holidays.
Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.